What's brewing? What's brewing? What's brewing? It's Sunflower Sage here, and I got some crazy fresh brewed tea on today's date, Monday. January definitely is looking like a crazy month, and I don't even know what we have in store for spring and summer because it's getting crazy between the politics, the quote unquote celebrities, and just local stories, just things happening around us. Some of us who aren't, just solely American. We may come from other parts of the world dealing with world news and events in our home countries. It's just crazy what's going on, but today is some celebrity political tea because Nicki Minaj has reared her head again. And it's crazy because just yesterday I was thinking about her like, it's been quiet. Where has she been? She deactivated her Instagram. I'm not sure she had deactivated her Twitter. But today she had time because she popped up on Twitter and made some remarks towards Don Lemon. Now, Don Lemon used to work on Fox, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he was let go about a year ago or two, and so he's been doing his own thing, right? Doing his own reports, being just being a journalist, still doing his reports or whatever he was doing on Fox, and just doing it on his own time. He has his own team, making his own money, and so he said it was kind of like a blessing in disguise. And I've seen him a couple of times, not in person, but on T.S. Madison and Craig the Writer's show called Popular Hot Ass Gossip. And, they chop it up from time to time. He comes on and briefly talks with them as a guest. And, they hang with him and they talk to him and they stay in communication with him. And I just think it's really funny because we all know that T.S. Madison was, you know, a friend of Nicki Minaj's, if you could call it that. I would say more like an associate or business partner, because you couldn't have been too much of a friend to now turn to this. Nicki Minaj has gone rogue, and a lot of us suspect that has a lot to do with the fact that she doesn't have her citizenship, which is crazy because I never was aware of that. I thought she did have her citizenship, you know? So something is definitely going on where she is being this vocal, this abrasive, and just very just kind of distasteful. This is going to cause her former fans or people who are still trying to support her to even distance themselves even more, because what she said to Don Lemon was wild. Now, the situation that had happened was basically anti-ICE protesters busted up into a church called Cities of Church, or Cities Church, and that's down in Minneapolis, where all of that is going down with the ICE agents who are arresting people, violating people, hurting people, and unaliving people, right? And so they busted up into the church because they're saying that the pastor is an ICE officer of the state. Like, he works with ICE, and there's a lot of people who are working with ICE because of the money that they pay. And it's just so unfortunate that people are so hungry for money that they're willing to be a part of this demonic agenda, this sick agenda, breaking up families and traumatizing and terrorizing people. There's so much going on in those ICE camps that we don't know about, where women and children are being violated, and even men. And when I say violated, it's just not physical, but yeah, it's physical. It's essaying going on. People are being assaulted. So there's a lot of deviancy running rampant over there. There's a lot of sick things that are happening over there, and they have a lot of people that are employed by the government who are working for ICE, who are terrorizing people. These people are not screened. It could be any weirdo, it could be any bigot, it could be any pervert, it could be any predator that decides that they want to terrorize people and abuse them and get away with it. And it's sad and it's sick. So the protesters busted up in there and they were calling the pastor out. And Don Lemon was there live streaming what was going on because he was a journalist on Fox. You know, he used to cover stories and travel and give commentary on things that were happening, right? In the media, in the world, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, Don Lemon is a gay black man and his husband is white. And so a lot of people find it hypocritical, particularly black people find it hypocritical, including Nicki Minaj, that he speaks so pro-black, but yet he's with a white man as his husband. You know, they just feel like those two don't mix. And, you know, Nicki Minaj, you know, being that she's with Maga now and she's somehow this staunch Christian, right? And Christian values, and we have to make America great again and bring back Christianity and this, and they're just using religion like how politicians have always used religion, and like how the government has always used religion, and the powers that be have always used religion to control, oppress, enslave, and abuse and manipulate. And Nicki Minaj is not an idiot, so she knows this is wrong. But whatever situation that she's in, whatever bridges that she burned, whoever that she has as her enemy, whether it be Rock Nation, whether it be the Cardi B, I don't know what kind of spells is on Nicki, but she has digged herself a hole that is too big and too deep for her to climb out of, because now she's in bed with these demonic people. And this is not going to end well for her legacy at all, like flushing her legacy. But I don't think she cares, because whatever was at stake must have been worth saving for her to jump on this MAGA bandwagon that is going against black women, is going against black people as a collective who support your music. You're a black woman. You make predominantly hip hop, rap, R&B, pop music. Your fan base is mainly black, and then also queer, a lot of LGBTQ plus people, black people and non-black people who supported you. So it's like you're going against a lot of different subjugated groups who just can't wrap their head around how you're getting behind this shit, Miss Petty. And I understand it from a dark goddess point of view. Like, she's doing what she got to do to secure herself, because I guess if she didn't jump on this bandwagon, she was going to lose it all. She was going to lose the pink Lamborghini. She was going to lose her house in Calabasas. She was going to lose every fucking thing. And I guess, you know, a lot of people, because like this is a shitty situation to be in. Because damn if you do, damn if you don't. You lose everything you worked for, or you stand for something, or by standing for something, or you join the evil forces and you keep those things. You know, and a lot of people, we could sit here and judge Nicki Minaj, but what would you do? Would you lose it all? Or would you join the evil forces? Would you lose everything that you worked for and go back to nothing? Nothing. Everything that you gave, and you lose it all the work, blood, sweat, and tears, and you lose it all. And you lose it all because you're standing for something that, you know, let's be honest. Historically, martyrs and people that stood for something, our, you know, revolutionary leaders or people, pioneers that have stuck their necks out for the good old cause, they were left to die alone. Fred Hampton, Bobby Mutant, plenty of the Black Panthers, Ashito Shakur. A lot of people were locked up and put in they were imprisoned, wrongfully imprisoned, because they were standing up for what was right and standing up against racism, standing up against police brutality. And these black people were imprisoned, some of them still in prison to this day. We don't know their names. We don't know because we so caught up with our lives. We don't know these things. But I read Ashita Shakur's biography, and to know that there's people that were locked up falsely in prison. She was one of them. That is a scary thing to know. That you're simply protesting and speaking up against evil, and the next thing you know, you're being imprisoned for decades under crime, no crime, just made up charges, falsely imprisoned, locked away. Nobody knows your story. You don't know. You know what that does to the psyche? You know what that does to you after a while? Like, just really think about that. That would drive you insane. You would just rather take a shell to the head than to endure that. You know? And so she's not about to stand for something and try to be a righteous and lose everything that she worked for the public, for the collective who isn't going to back her. Because a lot of times we don't really back the people that stand up for us. Like Kendrick Lamar said in Immortal Man, if shit hit the fan, are you still a fan? Is Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, Martin Luther. Listen to the words in Mortal Man and how he broke it down. You know, basically the song, he's asking his fans, Kendrick Lamar, he's asking his fans if he stands up, if he keeps being vocal and making conscious music and doing the right thing for the community, which is giving music that's going to stimulate us to think critically and be more aware and conscious of our existence in this world as black people. Are we going to let him die alone and be attacked by the government and the CIA and stuff like that, be framed and all that? Or are we going to stand by his side and ride the wave no matter how volatile it gets? That's a real question to ask. And that's one of my favorite songs from his Pimp to a Butterfly album. It's a deep song. It's a beautiful song. And a lot of times, no, we don't stand behind those who stand up for us. So I think Nicki knew that. It's like, girl, people already don't like you. Maybe your Barbs did, but Barbs, who are Barbs at the end of the day? Like, yeah, they support you, they ride hard. But do they ride hard through spiritual warfare and political manipulation and propaganda? Are the Barbs even like intellectual enough to even understand what's going on? Because I had made some posts myself on my social media accounts, and I had some Barbs come at me when I had said that, Nicki Minaj is, joining forces with Trump and talking about wanting to protect Christians in Nigeria. And that is not even why Trump wants to even get involved with what is going on in Nigeria. It has nothing to do with Christians being harmed. And I had one of her delusional Barbs come at me, and I told him, I said, you don't even know what's going on in the world. Because if you did, you wouldn't be talking out your neck the way that you are. Because what's going on in Nigeria is deeper than Muslims and Christians. And that's the thing. They don't talk about the Muslims who are also being harmed and who's behind it. And the extremist group that is behind doing these attacks on these people. They've been doing it for decades now. And Trump getting involved has nothing to do with him caring about those people. At the end of the day, they're black and they're poor. Since when Trump gave a damn about poor black people, let alone black people? Like, since when? The average white people don't give a damn. And sadly enough, a lot of us as black people don't give a damn either. See, now I'm getting deep. Let me get back on track. But yeah, you feel me? So it's like, man, this is a shitty road that Nicki is on. But I look at it like, would people stand for her? No, because she's not a Martin Luther. She's not a Malcolm X. She's a female rapper who has rubbed people the wrong way, and they don't see her as a victim. They see her as a culprit. They see her as a bully. They see her as a mean girl. They see her as the bad guy. And so if she was to go down, ain't nobody would have felt sad about it. Ain't nobody would have felt bad about it. They would say that's what you get for the things that you have said about XYZ and the shots you've thrown and being cocky and arrogant and nasty. That's how people feel about Nicki Minaj. Whether you feel like it's true or not, whether it is true or not, that's how she is seen. She's not seen as a nice person. Okay? So Nicki then went in on Don Lemon, calling him a cocksucker. I'm gonna just say it, a cocksucker. And saying, how dare you go into church and do this and that. And I'm trying to understand why she's coming at him specifically, when I guess because he's the most important name that was there at that event, at that particular protest. Because who else was there that is well known? From what I know, he was the only person with a name that was there, and he was just live streaming what was going on. She's coming at him, calling him a cocksucker, and saying, how dare you go up in the church, as if he started the protest himself. Saying if it was any other religion, you wouldn't do that. And it's just hypocritical to me because, first of all, church people and pastors don't even respect the church. A lot of deviancies be going on in the church, between children being abused and affairs happening and all types of other stuff. So is church even a sacred place? No, it's not. It's supposed to be, I guess, but it's not, right? So she's coming at him, and it's just like, it just seems like she's just doing this just to get her name back in the media. You know, she went incognito, and she's back, and she's stirring the pot. And yeah, because it was too quiet for me. I was like, where is she? Something is brewing, and here we go today. Here we go. You know, so I don't know. This is crazy, but it's gonna be interesting to see what the perks are gonna be for her riding the MAGA train and being a part of MAGA, and how some of her counterparts and her industry colleagues are going to be affected, being that now she kind of has a seat. Like, what kind of power is she's going to have when it comes to politics? And is she going to be able to sabotage any of her ops as a result? You know? But, man, I don't know. Anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe, and until next time, stay prayed up. Keep your mind straight. A lot of people losing their sanity in these times. Just keep your energy up, stay prayed up, and stay out of the chaos. That's all I could tell you. Bye.